Who is Captain Canuck?
Who is Captain Canuck? He's Canada's superhero.
Captain Canuck was created by artist and writer Richard Cumley and co-writer Ron Leishman as an original Canadian superhero. He was first published in 1975 under Richard's independent label Cumley Comics.
Let me go back to the very, very, very beginning when I met Ron Leishman at church. And he was the one who suggested that there should be a Canadian superhero and that there should be a Canadian comic book series featuring a Canadian superhero. We and many, many other people, it seemed, felt that, it was just part of the cultural mosaic that was missing and that we should have one. Just like having our own baseball team.
We're looking for our own identity as a nation. We're a maturing country. We're just off of our centennial, but really popular culture has not been served with a really good Canadian pop culture icon in terms of comic books anyway. And Captain Canuck came along at that right time when Canadians were looking to latch on to something like that, and he was perfect. During the 1940s, American comics were banned from coming into Canada from the first part of the century because of the War Measures Act. So we weren't allowed to import any frivolous things that didn't add to the war economy. So American comics were banned.
What happened in the beginning of World War II is the Canadian government put an embargo on non-essential items being imported into Canada, and that happened to include comic books, because Canada was totally reliant on American publishers for all their comic books until that happened. It opened the doors for Canadian publishers, and they filled the void.
The original series ran from 1975 until 1981. In the comics, the story was set in the then future of 1993, when Canada had somehow become a world power. Captain Canuck was really an agent of the Canadian International Security Organization, or CISO, and had twice the strength and speed of a normal man due to an encounter with aliens. Early stories pitted the Captain against super crooks like Blue Fox and his nemesis Mr. Gold. Sadly, the series ended after only a short 6-year run, but Cumley was happy to be able to produce his own original content because he wasn't happy with the direction that comics were headed in the 70s, and found an opportunity to create something uniquely Canadian.
They're overdoing violence, this sorcery business, sexual innuendos.
I didn't want content that was overly violent or of sexual nature.
I think they seem to be becoming lower and lower in quality.
I wanted whatever we produced to be readable by anybody.
In the real 1993, Richard Cumley released a second series of Canuck, Captain Canuck Reborn, which followed the brand new Captain Darren Oak. Reborn ran for 4 issues and as a newspaper comic strip, but it ran under the imprint name Semple Comics.
When I did Captain Canuck Reborn in 1993, it was Darren Oak. And Darren Oak is just a very physically fit guy who's is into martial arts and kickboxing, etc. And he puts on the costume because he's trying to stop the conspiracy.
The third incarnation, referred to as the West Coast Canuck, was edited by Cumley but written and drawn by brothers Riel and Drew Langlois, and appeared in 2004 under the banner of Cumley Comics as Captain Canuck, The Unholy War.
I was approached way back in 2002 by Riel, and he wanted to license Captain Canuck for this 4-part series. And I saw his script. I really liked his script. It was good writing, and eventually I made a deal with him. And he and his brother produced it and published it. It did quite well. This is about a guy by the name of David Semple, who is a mountie in Vancouver, and he just gets a little tired of new process. You know what I mean? It hampers his style, and so he makes his own costume, and he goes after the bad guys on his terms.
Unholy War was slated as a 3-issue miniseries, with an additional 4th and final installment being published in August of 2007. David Semple is unlike the other captains because his name is derived from a real-life Canadian hero.
The name Semple comes from a young man, a 22-year-old photography student. He saw a woman and a child being accosted, attacked, and he ran down there, just not even thinking about his own safety, and to try and help them, and he was stabbed to death in the process. And so when I was going to do the Reborn series and I wanted an imprint name, I mean, I had all kinds of names like Thunder Comics, but I thought, wouldn't it be neat to call it in sort of as a memorial to somebody who's so brave and selfless. So that's why I called it Semple Comics.
The Captain went on another hiatus until 2013 when a web series began production. The short web series is titled Fool's Gold and features an original, revamped Captain with a very different looking cast than the original comic series.
The cast of characters have been somewhat changed from the original series. Mr. Gold looks different. Some of the, like Red Coat and Quebec, are now females in the new series. In the original series, they were male agents.
The first episode of the webisode centers on the Captain trying to desperately defuse a bomb in the Parliament building on Canada Day. This is the first time the Captain has had any sort of live-action production, and it's been a massive success, with Season 2 being released in mid-2016. In addition to the web series, Captain Canuck is now publishing a monthly comic. But why has he been such a cultural icon all these years?
At the end of the day, it comes down to storytelling, right? And if you have a character that's people want to so badly believe in, like Captain Canuck, if you have that, and then you add a fantastic story, it's like you can't lose. It's a great projection of who we are as a country, you know, that nice guy hero that's apologetic and, you know, stands for good, you know, like, you know, a hybrid between really a Boy Scout Superman and a Captain America Patriot, that kind of thing, right? And that's who Captain Canuck is, really.
Hey, Captain Canuck? Oh my God, I'm your biggest fan!
Sorry, miss, I don't have time right now. Oh, thank you. Duty calls.
The first issue of the new series was released on Canada Day in 2015, and it continues to be a success today, spawning tons of Canuck brand merchandise, including everything from beach towels to official Captain Canuck brand maple syrup.
Captain Canuck maple syrup, you can't get more Canadian than that.
With Season 2 of the web series just over the horizon, it seems like our brave guardian of the True North isn't going anywhere anytime soon.